Hi YouTube, welcome to another MB's EDC Confidential. Today I'm really privileged to have Calen, aka Gunslinger Cal. So we're going to go through the usual questions. Stay around for later. Later on in this, there's going to be another keep, carry, scrap, and I've got 3 great knives lined up for Calen. So let's get on with it. So hi Calen. Shall we start with a pocket check? What are you carrying today?
Sure. Howdy back to you as well. Today, this is a knife I carry quite a bit. This is a 1981 brown bone 6292 jackknife, and she's still got a little bit of tape. Well, actually, it looks like I wiped it off pretty good, but
Okay.
I had a nice delivery today, and actually it is my first video where I decided to do an unboxing, and
Okay.
so this is
Okay.
what helped me open that box today. And like I said, it's a very, very beautiful brown bone 1981 6292. You see the easy open there for the pin blade.
Okay. Yeah.
I also carry a ocean seed pod is what they're referred to. I found this I don't know, Lord, it's probably been 15 years ago.
Oh wow.
There at the coast here in Texas.
Yeah.
And these float all around the world in the ocean.
Yeah.
And they turn rock hard after they dry out and stuff. So it's basically like a hard piece of wood now, and just something I carry in my pocket. I have my lighter here that
Zippo,
I usually carry. The only thing is I'm out of fluid right now, and I actually just received confirmation that my Amazon package has arrived with my fluid. So that is that. And also, this is my billfold, standard billfold.
Okay.
But
okay.
That's about all I generally carry. Every once in a while, I'll carry a second blade, and it's usually something like this, little Kershaw or Spyderco.
I never thought of you as carrying a modern knife as well. I just thought you were a traditional.
That has been my carry.
Right. So just to show you my carry. So let's put it up. So I had this for TK's show as well. I've been working in the garden today. So this is the Victorinox Hercules. I really like it. I've got a video on it, but it's quite an old one because it has this locking blade. It's 111 millimeter. I really like it because it has pliers, and it has an inline Phillips screwdriver as well.
Oh, very nice.
And a saw. So and the saw is one of the things I got it for.
That's very cool.
It's amazing how wide a branch you can cut with this saw, because it cuts on the pull and the push. So it's not legal carry in the UK because we have these crazy laws. Partly because it's got the locking blade, and because the blade's longer than 3 inches.
Gotcha.
And the saw as well. I think they would count the saw as a blade. So,
okay.
But when I'm just on my property and I'm working in the garden, this is perfect to help me do stuff. So that's all I've carried today, because I haven't needed anything else, because I haven't left my sort of house and garden.
Is that a discontinued model?
I think it's still available in the US, but it has a liner lock instead. And I think
nice.
because it's got the liner lock, then I think the flat blade locks as well on that version. I think it's still available. I got this one from Dan from Blade Bridge. He does custom Swiss Army knives, and he does refurbish. This is one of his refurbished ones. He's also a knife sharpener, so he put a scarily sharp edge on the blade. I
That's
feel I'm going to cut myself just looking at it. So
oh yes, that's always handy.
yeah. So it's really good, and it's one of those. I thought, I'm always looking for that perfect Swiss Army knife. I haven't quite got there yet. This is pretty close. If I was allowed to carry it. Anyway, that's enough about me. Right. So, how long have you been creating videos for YouTube then, Calen?
I believe it's been since August of last year, so 2023.
Yeah, that's
is
cool.
when I started.
And how many videos have you produced so far?
I think I've produced close to 300, but currently I think I have close to 70 available for viewing on my channel.
Ah, okay. Do you take some down then, or?
I do. A lot of just some of my early videos that had less than 100 views, or something like that, or
Yeah.
I just didn't like it. I just got rid of it. And believe it or not, it actually boosted my uh, views on all my other videos that had dead, stopped.
Interesting.
They started getting views again.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard some people say I've heard both things. Some people say leave them up there because they may take off later,
Hmm.
and when people come back.
Hmm.
And then I've heard other people say, get rid of some of those that didn't do well. I have a real mix. Some have done extremely well, and a lot of mine have done not so well.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think that's just how it goes. If I knew what I was doing, I'd have given up work and done YouTube. But it's
The
I think
mis-
that's part of the fun and the lottery of what we do. I'm sure there's a way of doing it which we just spend a lot of time finding out how to get that to work.
the
So
mystery of the algorithm.
I think so, and I was watching some videos, and they say whenever you think of algorithm, think of not algorithm, think of audience. And it's are you making stuff that people want to watch? And I think
Exactly.
sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, and
Yep.
that's sort of how it goes.
And people's palate, it can change daily.
Yeah, exactly. And I have no idea of guessing what people want. I guess doing more research, and I've tried to do that a little bit, and then I
Hmm.
think I've got something which I think will do well, and then it doesn't do so well. But that's how it is. It's sort of a hobby that I'd like to develop further, but I guess it's the same for you, is it? So
Agreed. Yep.
yeah. And so what inspired you to start your own YouTube channel? Because a lot of people watch but don't start doing videos themselves. So what
Um,
inspired you to get going?
all of it just kind of culminated really quickly. You could say it just started spiraling, or uh, snowball rolling downhill. But before I started, um, I was doing some cleaning in my storage unit, and I had refound my collection, and I was sending pictures to my buddies of my knife collection, and they're just like, okay, whatever. Like, why are you sending me these pictures of knives? And so I started, my brain starts thinking, who wants to see these? And actually, I had acquired a knife during that time. It was my grandfather's during his passing, and it
Yeah,
was the knife he carried. And it is actually, I can show it real fast,
yeah,
just for reference. It was this knife right here. This is
yeah,
a 1993 Fighting Rooster, um, and so I didn't know anything about the brand, and I decided to start doing some research, and I found the best place at the time, because I didn't know anything, was
yeah,
eBay, and of all places.
yeah.
And I found the exact same knife for sale. I didn't buy it or anything, but they had info on it, and so I acquired info, and I was really
Yeah.
intrigued at that point. I started purchasing more fighting rooster knives during that time. That's when I developed that collection. I think I have around 20 fighting rooster knives
Right.
now. Um, and um, and so I wanted more information on fighting roosters. I couldn't
Yeah.
find enough. And so then I switched to YouTube, and Patty, Potatoes Pillars,
Yeah.
and Warthog both had videos on some fighting roosters. And so that's where I started. And there was another gentleman, and I don't think he still has a channel anymore, or it's just been, it hasn't been active in a while.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
also had a fighting rooster video, and that's where it all started. Watching Patty and Warthog and that other feller. For me, um, then I found my way over to Slippy's channel, uh,
Yeah.
Slip Joint Sawyer, and of course I immediately was invited into the Discord, and then from there, I would always post pictures of my new purchases, and eventually I was, coerced, and my arm was twisted into making videos, as they like to do on there. And
Yeah,
so,
it's a real mix of creators and sort of viewers there, and
mhm,
I'm always trying to encourage some of the other collectors to have a go on YouTube, because my view is, if I can do it, anybody can.
absolutely.
I'm a 60-plus-year-old granddad, so if I can learn how to do the videos and load them up, I'm sure anybody else can. And a lot of them are very knowledgeable as well. So, and having seen you on RJ's lives, you're one of the recognized sort of case experts now, I think, Ken. you know and,
That's
well,
too
I mean,
kind.
you have to remember that an expert is just somebody who knows about 20%, at least 20% more than the normal person. That's
Okay, I'll take
that's
it.
I
I'll
think
take
that's
it.
I think that's enough, and uh, so yeah, that's so that in so it was watching these and then coming into the Discord and seeing other people having stuff and thinking, well, yeah, you could do that as well. And
Absolutely.
so so is does that sort of describe how you decided to have this topic of of pocket knives and not something else?
Yes, yes, that was my exact intention, was just to, at that point, I don't think I was even, it all happened so fast. My interest in not only knife collecting, but knife making,
Yeah.
it started right there as well in that same time. Um, and so, uh, w with all that, I'm sorry, I just I just lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So knife collecting and knife making, that sort of started up about the same time, or
yes, yes, and so, I'm so sorry. Yeah, that was originally, my knife collecting was to pass me over until I was skilled enough in knife making, which I'm still not there yet.
yeah,
I'm still doing the knife collecting thing at the moment.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but actually, uh, first one is finished, and I actually even got an edge on it there. And I've even used her just to, you always want to, your first one, you want to make sure and put it through some rigorous, you want to make sure it stands up.
Oh wow! And I remember you showing the design in the
Hmm.
Discord group, and
Yes,
and I think the blank you showed as well previously.
yes. And yeah, I put the lanyard as part of the spring
Okay,
for the lanyard hole. It sticks out the back. It's rounded, so it's not a terrible
and
pocket.
that's some jigged bone on the scales for that.
Yes, so the scales were already jigged and burnt and colored and dyed and all that. All I did was
Ah,
shape them to the
okay.
knife.
Right.
That is
Okay.
it
Okay.
is a burnt orange, and it's like a snakeskin jig.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Oh,
my
that looks
first
amazing,
homemade
Calen.
knife.
Yeah.
Slip joint.
Wow.
CKC there on the tang. I don't know if it'll stay CKC because I believe there's another knife maker in the States that's CKC, so I might need to change that. And
Okay.
1095 I stamped on the backside because that's the
Yeah.
steel I used.
Yeah. And is there sort of a register of knife makers then? So do you have to register your sort of maker's mark anywhere, or do you just pick one that isn't taken?
I haven't got that far yet.
Okay. Okay.
There's some research that needs to be done there.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, that's amazing though. I mean, I'm in awe of anybody who can, I can barely take apart a knife, with Torx screws and put it back together and not lose something. So, when I've had some of the traveling knives that come round, I make a point of not touching it at all because I don't want to lose something. And
Yeah,
I'm completely in awe of that. I think that's amazing because that's not easy to, a fixed blade would have been easier,
yeah,
and uh, and having one that had screws and not pins, that would have been easier. So you've not made it easy for yourself, and that's a real craft. Yeah, you'll have to show that to Steel City Knives. He'll be impressed by that. He really likes knives made in the traditional way, like that.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Honest, honestly, I don't know why I forget. I've put my knife making somewhat on hold just
Yeah,
while the moving's been going on, and so this is going to be a gift to my father. He
nice.
doesn't know it yet, but
Well, I hope he doesn't watch this then. Does he watch your YouTube videos
he
or?
doesn't watch. I don't think he
Oh,
watches any YouTube, so we're
that,
good.
that's okay then. Otherwise, but I think that is a beautiful gift for anybody, Caitlin. I think that's amazing. So I can understand why you have this particular topic and this
Yes,
niche. It's something that you're passionate about. Uh,
absolutely.
yeah,
Very, very, very kindred to Steel City Knives.
yeah, yeah. And sort of leading on to that, so how do you come up with the ideas for your videos? Because you've made quite a few. So how do you decide which sort of video to make or which topic, or how do you do that?
Really, because well, I've now posted that I also have an eBay store. So
Okay.
now I have knives moving in a lot quicker,
Yeah,
and also going out. It's transforming my collection constantly
yeah,
into all kinds of different places I never even dreamed of being.
yeah,
Right now, for instance, uh, this is a 1972. Or I'm sorry, I want to get the date correct. It's a 1977 Blue Scroll, uh, 6347
yeah.
Stockman and Stag. And I told myself when I got into knife collecting, I wasn't going to do the Stag because of the prices. And then, you start networking and you meet people,
Yeah.
and prices change, and, you know, deals come available, and then you just can't say no.
And so you're sort of buying and selling knives and then
Mhm.
keeping ones that you really like.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
how it works?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And some of the times, I'm able to get like doubles of some of the stuff I buy, and I'm
Yeah.
able to sell the same knife that I'm
You
keeping.
can keep one and sell one. That's
Exactly.
that's like having your cake and eating it, isn't it? That sounds like
Exactly. Exactly. And a lot of the guys over here in the States, I deal with a lot of them, and just trading or buying and selling knives.
yeah.
Makes it real easy when you know all the guys already.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. And do you do the thing like Randy does? Do you and some of the other guys do? Do you go and look in secondhand shops and things to find knives, or are you just buying and selling online?
Absolutely. I not only do I do uh, antique shops, flea markets,
Yeah,
garage sales, you name it. anywhere that you would find a pocket knife, and that's a lot of places in the United
It
States.
is in the US. In the
Yes,
UK,
yes.
not at all.
Unfortunately,
You know,
unfortunately.
sorry, I'm going to start a rant, and this is I have a number of topics that I have a rant on. This is one of mine. So there are loads of legal to carry knives in the UK. A lot, you know. It's
Yes.
the non-locking 3-inch slip joint knives, you know, and any of those. But you would think because they were legal that people would be able to sell them, you know. And I understand that you're not going to sell them to kids, you know. You've got to be over 18. But there's a lot of other stuff that, you know, like alcohol and cigarettes and things like that can't be sold to children. So I
Yes.
don't see why knives are treated any differently. And I don't believe anybody gets stabbed with a slip joint knife because there's a huge chance of you cutting your finger off in
Yeah.
trying to stab somebody.
Yeah.
Most people, I think, are stabbed with machetes, or, you know, are cut with machetes or kitchen knives. And
Yeah.
so I just don't see this. You know, I understand knife crime is a problem, but most of the people that carry folding pocket knives, slip joints, aren't involved in knife crime at all. So
No.
I just find it's just a shame, really, that we can't be trusted to buy and sell knives in a responsible way without maybe it's just the sellers just think it's just not worth the hassle of having police come in and checking to see, you know, have you done an ID check. So there are only a few specialist knife shops that sell knives. A few camping shops will sell them, but no charity shops are like our thrift stores, and maybe a few antique shops may do, and a few auctions, but it's not so easy. But sorry,
Yeah.
rant over. Let's
No. I
so
agree with you. I think it should be y'all should be able to, you know, horse trade and sell knives just like we do.
yeah, so people do on Facebook and things like that. Etsy as well. You can, and obviously Amazon, but it's limited. And if I look at Amazon, because I look on the US sites as well,
Mhm.
and there's just a whole just a so much bigger range in the US, and so it would be nice to see more of that. There are a few online shops that like Heine Haynes and things like
Yes.
that, that I've learnt of through being in the Discord group. You know,
I was gonna say that's where I learned of all of those as well.
yeah. So you've got your eBay shop, and then
Mhm.
so that gives you some ideas for videos. Anything else? Anything else? Do you have sort of like themes that you go through, or sort of
So
series?
there for a while when I first started, my very first long form was a thrifty Kniffy's synthetic 6 open
Oh,
tag.
okay. Yeah,
And
yeah,
so open tags were my thing for a long time,
yeah,
and now I've just stopped cold turkey. And I just kind of got nothing against, you know, any of the other creators. I've just been personally burnt out
yeah,
on not only creating them but watching them and and stuff like that. And that's just me. That's my own fault. I did it to myself, you know.
yeah,
I just started making, in my opinion, I started making too much content. And if, you know, anybody that follows my channel knows that I've slowed down tremendously on
yeah,
creating content, and there's multiple reasons to that. But the main one being just because I was doing a lot of open tags, and when you get to do a lot of open tags, that's all you do is
yeah.
open tags. You know what I mean?
I,
So
I think they're a great idea as part of that knife community and
yeah,
sharing and seeing what people do.
yes,
Um, I don't think it drives a lot of views though. If you're,
yes,
you know, and new subscribers, I think it's quite a community thing.
you,
I'm not really a knife guy, so I think I say that in just about every video I do like this. You know, I'm meant to be an EDC guy, and I sort of got sidetracked down this whole knife thing because, you know, pocket
it,
knives are nice shiny things to have, you know, and like I say, I'm always searching for that perfect. I think Victorinox deliberately don't put all of the best tools into one knife because people wouldn't buy the other ones, you know.
hmm yeah,
But anyway, that's just a theory. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so okay. Which one's that? Okay, right. So
This is
that
a discontinued as of 92 or 3. This is
wow.
the is it 84 millimeter? Is that correct?
Looks like
80.
it probably, yeah. And
I can't remember.
has that got the pen in it as well?
It does have the pen. This is the special mechanic.
Okay.
This has it's 2 layers. It has 4 tools.
Yeah.
It has the Phillips. It has the flathead cap lifter. It has
That's the combination tool. I really like that. Yeah.
this is, and then the blade, and then the only other thing it has is the pliers.
Yeah. I have the pliers on my Hercules.
Yes.
I really
Yes,
like
I noticed.
that. Yeah. That's a good tool set. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was also known as the special mechanic and mechanic junior is what it was known as.
Careful there, Calen, because these Victorinox can get addictive. You know.
So this is the second one that I've had that's just like this, and then I sold the first one, and then I saw another one, and it was mint unused at the flea market, and I was like, I can't pass this one up, and I'm absolutely going to keep it because I loved it actually. I don't even know why I got rid of the first one. You know, that's kind of one of the traps of being a salesman on eBay is sometimes you sell stuff you don't want to, and then you regret it.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing is not to regret anything because there might be another one that comes along, and
exactly. That's what happened. So it worked out.
I've noticed that Thrift is building up a collection of Victorinox, and Big J even. And there's just something about them because I don't know, they're well made. There's they're useful tools. They're a great thing to have. But
I have only one other Victorinox. I can show that real fast.
Of course.
Because it's also not as seen model, but it is. I was told. I don't think this is the SD Classic. It is
that's the bigger one. I can't remember. I think that's the 74 millimeter, and
it's in Halox.
Okay, yeah. I have one similar that Randy gave me, but it's the money clip version of that. Now, if Slippy were here, he would know. If you look on SAC Wiki, it will tell you what it is, and I use SAC Wiki a lot for that. But that's I really like that because it's bigger than the classic. It's just like the classic SD, but sort of on steroids. It's got a bigger blade, bigger scissors, bigger nail file as well. So that's really good. So that's the start of a collection there, Calen. Maybe maybe in addition to case.
I just need to once your mind gets put on something, it just seems to start happening after that. So
it's funny how things. It's like when you buy a car, you don't notice other cars until you buy one, and then you see a lot of that sort of car or truck. You see a lot of those on the road, whereas before you don't notice them. So it's surprising how we're sort of geared to look for things when without sort of realizing it.
Absolutely.
Right. So of your videos, which is your favorite or the one that you're most proud of?
That's a good question. I would have to say either my collection videos, where I've done my entire collection as a whole. Those are always fun. My back always hurts by the end of it. Believe it or not. You did
one recently, didn't you? It was about an hour, I think.
Yeah, it was right at an hour.
It was a bit of a marathon, and I was sort of watching it whilst I was making some food. So
yeah,
It didn't
Yeah,
have my full attention, but so you got a full view of it, and then I was every now and again my ears would prick up, and I'd look across and see stuff. So,
but those are really fun to do. You get to show everything, and I always try to have a little bit of information about all my knives, so you get to learn something if I'm showing it.
yeah,
But other than that, I would say my favorite ones to do are probably just the shorts, where I just find some good tunes and
yeah,
find a good way to showcase a specific knife, or I like to do them outside and natural
yeah,
light a lot of
yeah.
times. Uh, Therefore, over the winter holidays, I was doing a lot of them inside, where I was having to figure out new ways to do different lighting and stuff, just to switch
Yeah,
it up. But
yeah, that's good. Because did you start with shorts?
exactly.
Yeah, that's right. I remember now when you first started. So that
Yeah.
I mean, I still get confused by shorts. I have a go. I'll do one. I try and do one a week, and
Yeah.
sometimes they do well, and sometimes they don't. And there was one that I put the most effort in with my son, and he was filming me with some safety gear on, using using chainsaws and stuff. And that one, we put a lot of effort into that, and a lot of editing and stuff, and it didn't do well at all.
Oh
And,
no.
and then and then I had another one where I just had a mattress delivered, and I cut the mattress, and it sort of made weird noises as it unrolled itself, because they're sort of compressed, and that got a load of views, and I just had no idea. I don't think I think it's a younger audience probably, and yeah. So
Yeah.
at some point, I'd love to crack the code for shorts,
You and
and
me both.
I'd love to get, because I think the trouble with shorts are you've got to sort of divide it by 100 or so, to compare it to long form, and
Oh yeah.
so you haven't done well until you get into like the 100,000s or something. So I'd love to get 100,000 short. That's one of my targets. So what are the main challenges you face as a creator on YouTube?
Uh, Being a dad and a husband. Just finding the time
Yeah,
to do it. Really is my main issue. Uh, Nothing else really.
yeah.
Everything else comes pretty easy.
I think that's been the main answer from people. Really, I think because most of us have a day job or a busy lives, and working and family and everything else gets in the way. And I'm sure you have more ideas for videos than you have time to make them, or more knives than you can show in videos, probably,
Yes.
knowing you. So it is quite hard for that. Um, I'd love to be able to do this full time, and maybe when I retire eventually, I can do that. That's and it's interesting you were saying about burnout. I think that's something we have to watch out for, because it's very easy to get focused on this, and to get too focused on making videos, getting views, getting subscribers, especially getting to that magic 1,000 subscribers.
Hmm.
And then when things don't work and it's tough, and that's where I found the Discord group was quite good, because I'd go into there and
Very
chat to
supportive.
people,
Very supportive.
and the creators corner as well, if
Yes.
where we tend to talk more about the stuff behind scenes and things. So and reach out to other people if you ever get stuck. That's I think everybody's really supportive with each other. So but time is the biggest issue. I think I do most of my videos, they're sort of between about 8 o'clock at night and 11 or 12 at night, because the kids are settling down, and it's a bit quieter as well. I'd love to
Absolutely.
do more stuff outside, which would be good at some point. But and
Yeah.
and getting my skill level up to be able to do that, I think that's the other issue, I think, as well. But time is the biggest one.
Yeah.
And what do you like most about your YouTube experience?
Oh, that's easy. just meeting people,
Yeah.
meeting new people. Absolutely. It's I met some really, really great people just being part of YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've probably said this loads of times. That was the biggest surprise to me, really. And compared to other things that you do online, because I tried doing some print on demand sort of stuff on Redbubble, but I was looking for things to do and learning new skills and things, and so I put stuff onto Redbubble and another t-shirt design thing, and I did about 100 designs or more on there, and it's really lonely doing that. The good thing is you can be watching films and TV while you're doing it, but it's very lonely and there's not much interaction. People either buy the stuff or don't buy the stuff, or they
Yeah.
like it or don't like it, but
Yeah.
you don't have any interaction with people, and you don't have any interaction with other creators. Whereas with YouTube, there's this, and the Discord group, there's quite a community, particularly the knife community is really strong. And I never expected that at all. I don't know what I expected, but I certainly didn't expect that. And the fact that people meet up in person. I don't know if you've done it yet. Have you met any of the guys?
Not yet. I am to meet Terry and a few other gentlemen, Georgia Adventures, and a few other gentlemen over in Georgia at Atlanta Blade Show.
Okay, that's coming up pretty soon, isn't it?
June 7th through 9th.
Okay. And I know that Slippy, Slip Joint Sawyer, and Mikey Newman, I think they're planning to come over.
Yes. Next year, I heard for Blade Show Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully that won't be too far from you. Is that?
No. I'm actually planning on.
Big place. It's a lot bigger than.
It is, and I actually plan on meeting up with Thrifty and those gentlemen come next year at Blade Show Texas. That's just about 30-40 minutes from me, so nothing.
Oh,
really.
Fantastic! Because we only have, as far as I'm aware, we only have one knife show a year in the UK, and it's called Sharp Show. And I went to that last year. I think it's going to be on again in November. Slippy confirmed it in the Discord group, and I met Paddy from Paddy's Potato Peelers, and Judd, and Mikey Newman, and Slip Joint Sawyer, and Sean. So it was really nice. And Gadget Gus as well,
Nice.
and Dan from Bladebridge. So
Nice.
But I was still quite new there, so I was a bit in awe of meeting these people that I've been watching. I've been watching Gadget Gus's videos before I started a channel. In fact, he was one of the people that made me think, well, there's a guy, and he seems like a normal guy, not like some influencer, just a normal guy. I thought I could maybe do that. So yeah, I think it's the people that make it great about doing this. So that leads really, really nicely onto this question. So what channels or sort of creators do you really admire?
One is pretty obvious for anybody that watches my channel. I share a recorded show once a week. We haven't been able to do it the last couple of weeks just for various reasons.
Yeah.
But Terry's Knives and Man Stuff is one that he started his channel about the same time as me. I think a little bit before me, and man, we just hit it off as friends, and we actually get to do a lot of knife trading and selling and buying and trading back and forth at least once a week, I would say. He's a really, really good guy, really kind and generous. And
I love Terry's accent,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's that real southern accent, and
absolutely.
I mean, I have a question, and whilst I have somebody from the US in front of me, and I forgot to ask Thrifty about this. Is it a thing in the US for you to eat your food with your own pocket knife, or is it just a YouTube thing? Because I know, we're always seeing Terry eating his like breakfast, and he's got his knife out, and I've seen Big J or Jesse, and they're eating at a diner, and they've got their knife out eating their food. Is this a common thing that happens?
I don't want to be shunned or nothing, but I don't think it is as common as it's led to believe. I
Okay,
think that's
okay, that's
just
fine.
yeah, I think that's just for videos.
That,
I
that's
could it's something I could see 100 years ago,
yeah, yeah.
people doing, but we have silverware over here just like everyone
Well,
else.
that's what I wonder. I did wonder that. Is it that the cutlery in the diner, or isn't so clean, or things like that?
It,
But I think it's fine. I think there's a lot of things we
it
do to showcase the knives we
yeah.
have, and you know, I think, to be honest, most of us, apart from a few things, the sort of lives we lead, we lead. I work in an office, or I work from home in my home office. And the main thing I use my knife for is to open Amazon packages and things like that,
Hmm.
and the
Hmm.
occasional the scissors for opening packages and stuff like that. So I don't think many of us are sort of skinning animals, and all of those other things that maybe we pretend it should be for. But
Yeah.
that's fine. Thanks. I won't. Well, some people might see this, but
Oh no, I
I think
mean, I'm just being
I think it
honest.
looks really good, but
Yeah.
it's very it's well, it's definitely not a British thing to do, and I just wondered if it was an American thing. So, but it's
No.
interesting. I like, I think it looks good on the play, and I'm sure Paddy says he's used some of his knives for steak and things like that.
At
Um,
the same time, I will be honest and say that when I'm eating in a restaurant, I don't know what utensils other people are using. You know what I mean? So I'm not
yeah, yeah.
necessarily the best case for judgment on that because
Okay, but you don't get your knife out and start using it
no,
to cut the
no,
steak up. No.
no, I don't
That's
do
no, that's fine. I'm just interested.
that.
Thanks for that, Calen.
Absolutely.
And sorry. Let's just go back. So you were talking about Terry, and
Yeah.
we sort of got sidetracked. So are there any other sort of creators or channels that you really admire, or that you aspire to be like?
I would say Randy's WSG.
Yeah,
I think he's another great channel for anybody that's trying to do YouTube. If we had more people like Randy, we'd have an even better community than we already have. You know what I mean?
I call Randy the nicest guy on YouTube,
Yes.
and
Yes.
he's amazing, and I think he should have more subscribers and views than he gets sometimes. But
I agree.
he is just so generous,
Yes.
and so he speaks nice of everybody, and
Hmm.
I have a lot of time for Randy. That there was a reason why I picked Randy as my first guest on this series, because I couldn't think of anybody I would trust, and because I was really nervous. I'm getting a bit into this now, and I enjoy doing it, but I was really nervous when I did the first recording, and
Oh
and
yeah.
Randy was the perfect guy to have on.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm glad you called out Randy for that. Is there anybody else as well, Calen, at all, or?
Yeah, I mean, I would have to give Rod over at RJ's Knives a lot of
Yeah,
praise as well. He's one of the main reasons I'm as big as I am in the community. Not that I'm big or anything, but he's helped pave that way quite a bit for
yeah.
me. Letting me be part of his live once a week on Sunday.
I think he started quite a few people into lives, and I think there are quite a few people that didn't have live shows of their own other than appearing on his. I mean, I thought it was a real shame that the Big J, you know, has
Yeah,
had stopped, and
yeah,
Boston Blades as well,
Yeah.
because that was one of my Sunday night fixtures, because sometimes the earlier shows we're doing stuff as a family and I don't
Mhm.
always watch them live, but that was one of the ones that I used to watch. And I know there were a few people that got to their 1,000 on there, because I sort of, there are a couple of people that were close and either there on our days, and I said, look, so and so's at 980 something or 90
Yeah.
something. Can we get them over the 1,000 while we're on the show? I think Randy was on one of them and Singing Toad on another. So I
Yeah.
think it's great when somebody does that and it's live. Have you thought of doing live shows yourself at all?
Yeah, I've definitely tossed it around, and it's definitely a possibility here in the future. It's no, I wouldn't say it's in the works, but it's definitely being talked about between
Yeah,
me and a few other channels. Um, I don't necessarily know if it's going to happen or not. A lot of stars will need to align if it's going to
yeah,
happen, because we don't want to, we don't want to try to compete with other live streams or anything like that, obviously.
yeah,
Um, but uh, but yeah, it's definitely been tossed around. I do the recorded interviews with like I said with Terry, and
yeah,
we usually do that on Wednesday, release it on Wednesday.
yeah.
Um, but that's as far as I go.
I think that would be great live, actually, and it doesn't have to be like an hour. You could, if you just want to do 30 minutes, and
Yeah, yeah,
um, yeah, I think at some point I could try and do it myself, but I think I'd want to do it myself and a guest if I
Mhm.
didn't have a stand. I haven't found my Slippy to Thrifties, or so I haven't found that person yet. That might just be me, that I'm just
Oh,
um,
nonsense.
but I've really enjoyed. This is my fifth recording of this, and I've got some other ones lined up, and I'm really enjoying this. If not just to interact with somebody that I've seen or in on YouTube, or that I've chatted to in Discord, and
Yes,
and this is just taking it to the next level, which I really like. So I might try and take this show live. It's just the commitment. I think that's the problem
yes,
in hitting the same time slot.
yes.
Uh, talking to TK though, Thrifty Kniffy, he was saying that he just did some random things where he just went live with something, and I think maybe that's the way to do it. You don't care if you get one or two or five or whatever.
Yeah,
Just say, right, this is going to be a live. This is what I'm going to talk about. Come on, interact and have a bit of a discussion. But
yeah.
what's the worst that can happen? Nobody turns up and you just do a show, and then you've got a recording that you can put on YouTube. It's not
Yeah,
so
yeah. And sometimes your brain reacts a little better when you're under that not stress, but you're on the spot like that.
that adrenaline, yeah, that
Yeah,
helps make things
absolutely.
better. Yeah, so that's great. So here's a question, and for EDC, that's fine if that's just knives. So, what are your best and your worst purchases that you've made?
Um, well, um, my worst purchase, I recently mentioned this. I think I mentioned it on RJ's live. Was
Yeah.
was this knife here? This is I know it doesn't look like the worst purchase, but this is a discontinued company as far as making pocket knives. It's a Zwilling and J.A. Hinkle's collaboration knife.
Right.
This is a Barlow and Stag, and the pictures were I bought it on eBay. The pictures were very darkened whenever I saw it. So it's kind of my fault, but the seller ended up being very gracious and refunded me a little bit of money. It does have just a bit of blade wobble, but it is quite noticeable. And
Yeah.
the Stag was so dried out when I got it that it was just everything but cracking into pieces. And
Okay.
I soaked it in some mineral oil, and then later coated it in some linseed oil, and then wiped it down, and that's how you get that
Yeah, I was going to say that the stag looks pretty good now. So it
Yeah,
was
I
it was just
definitely brought it
dull
back.
and dry, was it, when you got it? Yeah,
Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible.
yeah,
And then the burst, burst the best. That's a very, very hard one. Because as you can imagine, I've made quite a bit of purchases.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
will show you my latest, and
Your latest
one
test,
one
yeah,
that I'm very, very proud to have is this 2013 chestnut bone swayback in CV.
ah, that's nice, yeah,
This is a Tony Bowes design.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, it's a rare thing to find a swayback in CV, and they did these chestnut bones
yeah,
specifically in CV. So um, that one's a great one for me so far. But I was showing you before the show, some things like this. So it's really hard to say what was my best purchase when I've got it's daunting to say the least.
it's hard when you're buying and selling a lot. So
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's
It
different.
definitely it changes. It definitely changes. One that I was most proud to get actually recently um, was a cigar whittler,
Ah,
and
okay, yeah,
this is a pre 1915 design. In the early 90s, when Jim Parker owned Case,
yeah,
he decided to make all of these Case classics,
right,
and they took all those old designs and remade them.
yeah,
And so that's what this is. This is a 1990 6391 in Rogers bone. And this is a whittler.
okay.
Like I said, cigar whittler. You got your normal,
Have you got the coping blade on that? Is that?
yeah, you
Ah,
have your
yeah,
coping blade and a
yeah,
nice pin blade with a really nice swedge there on it. But then, your main spear blade is really, really pretty. And the fit and finish on this knife is just
yeah,
right down the center everywhere. Um, these are very hard to find, and this one's actually quite thick
yeah,
for the bone on it. Because I have another one, and it's nowhere near as thick as this one. It's quite thin
yeah.
actually, in comparison.
I should have got my because I've got the case that you sent to me, which is great, and then there's one that I bought at Sharp Show last year. I thought I'd have to have a case, and I've got this. I think it's a sea green swayback jack.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
hang on, let me just grab it out. It's I don't have many knives, so it doesn't take too long to find them.
We'll show our green swaybacks together.
So this is my,
Oh man.
and I haven't told my wife how much this cost, but it wasn't too bad. But I realized that my favorite blades are either a Warncliffe or a
Yeah.
sort of lamb's foot, and then it has let me just get it. It has that one as well.
Oh yes, yes. I love the jigging on that one actually.
And I think this is a Tony Bowes as well. So I'm just
Yeah.
checking because it
Yes,
has the
it is.
TB on it as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
And it was one of it's got the only thing I don't like. I don't really like. Can I check? Does it come up
Oh,
on
it's a
there?
limited edition.
Yeah, I don't really. I find that a bit garish. That's the only thing. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not. If it's etched just like laser etched or just in black, I think that's okay. But yeah, I really like that. If you saw Thrifty's recording with me,
Hmm.
that had that really nice case. I really like the case script shield thing as
Yeah.
well with the
Yeah.
double
Oh
edge.
yes.
I thought that was amazing. But so that's yeah, that's it's a small knife, but the trouble is, because it's bone, I'm bothered about chipping it, so I don't carry it. That's a keeper rather than a carry knife for me.
Oh, absolutely. Well, imagine having a bear head one.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, you definitely wouldn't want to drop that one.
No, no,
And this is burnt green,
yeah.
pocket worn. This one's a
Oh,
2008 actually. But that pattern was the first pattern that I actually got into case knives, and it really relit the purchasing fire under me for case again.
yeah. Yeah, I think I mean what was interesting with that was that was a brand new but an older knife. I can't remember what year it is. I'll have to check what's on it. I might send you a picture to help me break the code
Absolutely.
and for that. But
Yeah.
yeah. So it was a Sharp Show. This guy that's passed away, and a few of it. I think that's where Paddy got the knife that he sold to TK. The one with the case script on.
Yeah, I
But
heard about that, unfortunately.
it was just amazing. Us all going through these boxes, and at one point, I think there was Slippy, Paddy, Sean, Gadget, Gus, Judd, everybody going through these. There were drawers of these boxes, and I had no idea what I was looking for, and I just picked something that I thought looked
you
nice.
you did really good. You did really good.
So it wasn't too bad. I think it was about £50 or £60. I don't know if that was good or not, but I liked it, and I wanted to have a case.
What
I'll
is
probably
that?
do the same with Buck at some point. I'm not a huge collector, but I like to have different examples of knives. Victorinox is probably my favorite, just because I sort of grew up with those a bit.
Yeah,
But I quite like to have. I've got a few Bokers and a couple of real stills and a few other ones. But
very nice. Very nice.
so
What is 50 or 60 pounds in US, if you don't mind?
oh, it's almost the same. It's
Okay.
about maybe $60 or $70, I think.
Oh
That
yeah. I mean, you did fantastic. You did
so
fantastic on that knife.
oh, okay. That's I
They
mean
they, they go well over 100 in the US.
oh, okay. That's good. I mean, I'm not planning to sell. I'm not. I don't buy enough to want to sell them. I've only got 30 odd knives in total, so it's more of something that I sort of like them. Being in the Discord group, I think there should be a warning. If you come in this Discord group a lot, you will buy more knives.
Prepare for addiction.
Yeah. I still remember when I first asked, what an NKD was for new knife day. I had no idea what that meant, but
The newbie days, I remember those as well.
oh yeah. So we've got to the part in the show where keep carry scrap pops up. So let me just switch into a different format. And so the thing with keep carry scrap is that I'm going to show you three knives, and one of these is a keeper, not one to carry. So you'll put it aside. The other one is one to carry and use as much as you want. In fact, that's expected. And then the other one, I've got scrap, but it's one to give away or sell on. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Right. So as you may have guessed, I've picked three case knives for you. They aren't vintage, so these are all new ones, I think.
Yeah.
And I did a bit of a search on Amazon. So this first one here is, and I've picked Tony Bowes as well, because I thought I can't just put a basic one in front of you, Calen. So the first one is a Tony Bowes Trapper in jigged brown bone. The second one is a case Tony Bowes in Trapper in smooth abalone. And the third one is a case Tony Bowes Eureka Jack in a standard jig chestnut bone. Okay.
Oh boy.
Have I made? Oh, good, because it was too easy for Thrifty in the last video. So
Oh, he'd be sweating bullets right now on this one, I promise.
and I think because I'd sort of done this one for you first, actually. So I probably gave him a less good choice. So okay, talk me through your thinking on this thing.
Okay, okay. Um, Obviously the abalone, that's the keeper.
Yeah,
That's going to be your most valuable one, in my opinion, or the most damageable one. It being it,
both. I think. Yeah,
yeah. You know, obviously it's shell material.
yeah.
Um, the For me, I would. Oh my gosh. I'm more of a brown bone guy, even though I'm Lord, I don't know. That this is a really hard one. I would have to say I would carry the Trapper and probably gift the Eureka Jack.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And then on the next day, I could be saying, I'm keeping the Eureka Jack and gifting the brown bone Trapper.
Yeah, because I quite like that Warncliffe blade
Mm.
on the chestnut bone.
I,
So anyway, so
I look back and forth, and then I'm torn every time I turn my eyes. It's very
there
different.
there are
It goes
there are no
well.
bad ones, and I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing, Caitlin, but all three of these I think are available on Amazon US now, and so you've chosen to keep the abalone one, yeah,
Yes.
and you're going to carry the Trapper jigged brown bone, and then
Officially, I will carry the Eureka Jack because I'm really more of a Jack guy at the moment.
you switched now, yeah.
I have switched.
Oh, okay,
Yes, and then yeah, I'll gift the Trapper.
okay.
For sure, for sure.
So, do you want to know how much these are selling for
I,
on Amazon, or can you make a guess?
I could probably make a pretty close guess.
Okay, have a go.
Um, so starting from left to right, uh, probably 500, and then the middle one is probably 600, and then I would say 400 or 500 on the jack as well.
You were right on the jack. You were a bit low on the jig bone. That's 604.
Okay.
The abalone is up at 1035.
Okay. Yeah. See, I don't buy any abalone. That's what I knew that one was the expensive one. I just had no idea that it's that expensive.
Yeah. And then and then the jig chestnut is 464. So
Very
uh,
nice. Very nice.
but yeah. So I think you had it pretty much sussed. I mean I want to have fun with this. I don't want to give people, because this is loosely based on the game Snog, Marry, Avoid, and I wouldn't want to give you some horrible ones. So
Oh yeah. These are grails for I would imagine for a lot of people,
yeah.
including myself.
Well, I'm when I post a video, I will put my affiliate links on. So
Very
if
nice.
somebody buys one of these, I will be really, really happy. But
Yeah.
anyway, thanks for playing the game, Calen. That's great.
Oh, it was a
I just,
blast.
I just have one last question. Let's get us back to the side by side. So, what do you want to do with your channel for the future?
So the near future, I will continue to do my collection videos. As I mentioned to you beforehand, I am very close to being back out to a larger piece of property where I can continue my knife making skills
Yeah.
and really hone that down. And I'll be most likely posting some of that as well. And
I think that would be brilliant. I think a lot of people would like to see the different stages and how it develops over time. Yeah.
Not only that, I think I'm going to start, and I don't know how this will do. This is just an idea, but um, just some videos on me developing my land
Yeah.
as well. A lot of it needs to be cleared out and stuff like that, and just
Yeah.
progression videos on my property. You know what I mean? I think would be
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So you might have a second channel for that to do.
I honestly don't know. But if anything, I'll just make a series, on my channel, like a small series, and then I don't know. I don't think I want to. I don't know if I want to make a second channel. I struggle enough with one.
Yeah. 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 To be honest, that was my thinking. So I don't. Because you're meant to sort of work out your audience, and then you have, if it's a different audience, you have a different channel. But I think if it's about you as Calen, and as Calen, the knife collector, knife maker, homestead builder, and things like
Yeah.
that, then I think that's fine as it is again. I really look forward to seeing some of those. I think that they'd be really interesting, especially for people in the UK, because it's quite different to how things work with houses and land and things, and most people don't buy land and build on and things so much, just because there isn't land and it's expensive, I think, as we were saying before.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
video. So,
And we don't think about that. Over here we're blessed more than anything. Being able to do such things, and it makes sense. Living on an island, you're limited. You're
we're
already
limited,
limited.
and I mean, I think the UK fits inside Texas pretty much. I don't think.
Right.
I don't think we're any bigger, certainly, than that. So, and how are you doing for subscribers, Calen? How's that going?
I think I am right at 650, if not right under 650. It's just a slow chug
Yeah,
along, which I stress quite often. I'm not really out for subscribers. I think views are more important than subscribers.
I
And that's
think, I think, yeah, I think once you monetize, I think subscribers don't matter. It's about the views. I think
yes,
that's
yes.
important, and I think what I've learned as well is that it's about getting the right subscribers,
Oh
and
yeah. Oh yeah.
and I had a couple of videos that did well, and I think some of those subscribers don't watch the other videos that I do.
Right.
And I think, as I was saying yesterday, chatting to TK, I think a lot of the shorts subscribers don't necessarily transfer over into long form stuff, because I think
Oh
that
yeah. I agree
uh,
there.
I think long form subscribers will watch your shorts as well, when they pop up. But I'm not sure it works the other way. And even with that feature now, where you can link to long form videos,
Yeah. I
as
just
part.
used that feature recently, actually, and it actually was very beneficial for my long form.
Oh,
And now
that's good.
my long form is actually past my short in views, so I was really impressed by that.
Yeah, well, I found I haven't had many people follow that link at all, so I think they're just the scrolling viewers. But well, we'll see. There's always a hope to get it to
Oh
work.
yeah, I consider all of my success luck
Yeah,
on YouTube.
I,
And with the
I
algorithm and everything, I mean, to me, it's a lot of luck at the same time.
I think so. I think so. In trying different things, finding things that work, maybe not understanding why something's worked, and then I think that's part of the game as we're learning this stuff. So, okay, that's great. Thanks, Calen. And I hope for people watching, if you haven't subscribed to Calen already, please go and check out Gunslinger Cal.
Thank you.
If you like what he's doing, then subscribe and see more of it, because he, to me, Calen is the case expert that I know, and you'll see him on RJ's Knives as well. Do you want to give a bit of a plug for some of your other video stuff as well, Calen?
Oh yeah, thank you. Every Wednesday, like I said, I try to release it's Calen and Terry's Corner, knife talking man stuff. And we usually just take about 15 minutes and we talk about a specific knife pattern generally. And if we have time, we usually do a pocket dump or we'll talk about some other knife man stuff related item. It could be lighters or hatches, so many things we have ideas about that we haven't even done yet. So
Yeah, yeah. I find them great because they're focused on one sort of pattern or style of knife that I learn more about that. So I found them really useful.
yeah, yeah, and it helps me and Terry learn at the same time. So
Yeah, yeah, that's great. And then you have videos coming out on your channel fairly frequently. So
I've actually slowed down to I generally put 2 or 3 shorts out a week, and I usually do one long form, and I'll let that long form soak up as much views as it can before
yeah,
I put the next video out, and I usually wait about a week. Um,
okay,
and that's
okay.
just for my channel specifically, as well as my Wednesday show with Terry.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Okay, that's great. So there's plenty of chances for people to catch your stuff
yeah,
and your
yeah,
back catalog as well.
yeah.
Okay, that's great. Thanks for coming on the show, Calen, and I've really appreciated that. We found out a bit more about you, which is always good. And I just like having these chats. I could talk for ages, but without trying to keep people's attention for too long. So stay on after we stop.
Yeah.
And just a big thank you to everybody who's still watching. Always appreciate that, and look forward to catching you in the next video. So thanks for that, and I'll say bye. Thanks. Thanks,
Thank
Calen.
you. Bye bye.